helping to serve us and bringing awareness to mental health in a really important way. Obviously, right now, because of COVID, we're all experiencing higher levels of stress and anxiety around the virus and changing responsibilities at home. So we were really hoping to put this workshop on together so that we can discuss these challenges and be a support to everyone. To get started, I just want to take a minute to talk about some Zoom stuff. So I'm sure you all noticed that we are recording. We're only going to be recording this main part. When we do our breakouts, we'll stop recording, so feel free to ask questions that maybe are a little bit more private. You can take yourself off camera or keep the cameras on if you do feel comfortable. We have the chat function on, so feel free to send questions. And then we do have a link in the chat box right now, and you received it in your email. That's a Google form that allows you to ask any questions anonymously. So throughout the presentation, throughout your facilitation and small breakout groups, feel free to click on that, and we'll come back after breakout rooms and do a question and answer. I ask that everybody keeps themselves muted. If we mute you, please forgive us. It's just so that we can minimize background noise. But yes, in general, or most importantly, we're very excited to be hosting this event. Just as a short agenda, our plan for today will have a short message from His Grace Bishop Abraham, potentially Metropolitan Serabion if he does grace us with his blessings. And then Abuna Jonah from St. George is going to be giving us a great presentation on coping with stress during COVID. We will have a 20-minute breakout based off of age groups or what you feel like your need is the most. So parents will go with Abuna Jonah and David. You'll see us all kind of at the top. And then we have other facilitators that are going to be hosting each of the breakout rooms. I know you guys got the breakout links in an email. We did have to switch one link just because of technical difficulties. So they're in the chat, and I will prompt you guys again at the end when we leave this room to go to the smaller rooms. After the 20-minute discussion, we'll come back to this main link that everybody successfully got onto for question and answer and wrap up. So feel free to send any questions or anything, but Sayedna, if you don't mind getting us started.
Yes. Let's pray before we start. In the name of the Father and Son and Holy Spirit, one God, Amen. Our Lord, make us words to pray thankfully, saying, Our Father who art in heavens. At the beginning, I would like to welcome all of you and thank all the servants. Just one moment, His Eminence is asking, so I have to answer him. Until His Eminence join us right now, I just want to welcome all of you and say a short introduction for today's meeting and wishing all of you happy fast of Nativity and in advance Happy New Year and Merry Christmas. As the new year arrives and the world is still suffering from the pandemic that has taken many lives and left so many suffering economically and emotionally, and it has also affected our way of life and how we attend the church and how we can manage our lives. As the Diaconia and Development, we try to find out how can we help our community to overcome all this struggling in the families. So we thought, as a true physician ministry, one of the 7 ministries in Diaconia, and under the True Physician Ministry, there is a group helping and serving in mental health. This meeting is a guide to support Coptic families during the pandemic. And as I said, it's hosted by the Diocese of Los Angeles, Diaconia and Development. And we try in this event, and we hope to offer support to family units during continued COVID-19. And this event will address increasing concerns for mental health related issues for all members of the family as they navigate new roles, responsibilities, and the challenges. That's in very summary, what the aim of our meeting is: to come together to listen to the families, to members, to the parents, to the youth, to the kids, and also to listen how can we communicate within the family, inside the family, with each others, and also to overcome all the challenges and difficulties we are suffering and facing during this unprecedented time and surge of COVID-19 till now. So we trying to help that it could be a benefit for some people. They are listening to us today, and you may convey this message also for those people they were unable to join us today. We had a session, the same sessions yesterday, and I hope that it could be like yesterday. We had a survey, 100% agreed and satisfied for what we offered in yesterday session. Until His Eminence, he just sent me a message. He's gonna join us in a minute. سيدنا معنا؟
نعم.
سلام سيدنا.
أهلا.
سلام سيدنا. Now I just يعني done with the short introduction, and we were waiting for Your Eminence to join us and to give us support and guidance in these difficult days within the family. The participants registered today, Sayyidina, are about 50 families, beside the servants from the churches and from the group of True Physician Ministry. Welcome, Sayyidina, and we need your prayers.
سيدنا.
أهلا أهلا، ازيك أبونا، ازيك؟
سلام سيدنا، قبل ايديك سيدنا.
نقبل ايدي سيدنا.
أهلا أهلا، ازيك؟ صلاة، ازيكم؟
الحمد لله يا سيد.
ربنا يحافظ عليكم.
تعيش يا سيد.
طيب اتفضل يا سيدنا، ابتدي بالصلاة.
ابتدينا يا سيدنا، احنا مستنيين نيافتك يا سيدنا، اتفضل.
يعني as يعني regarding this issue of this يعني the stress, I attended part of yesterday workshop, but I understand it's different people than who attended yesterday.
Yes, يا سيدنا, different people, except the servants.
فاحنا يعني what is important is how to identify what are the causes of the stress. يعني definitely this pandemic is stressful, especially يعني every day we hear different news about it. يعني we give a hope of the vaccine, and then now they spoke about new variation in the virus and how they handle it, whether it will يعني help or not. All this news is coming create a kind of worry, create a kind of concern. And that's why يعني our faith to sustain us in our life in the hand of God, and so we can overcome this worry. And as I heard yesterday from the presentation, إنه يعني it is good not to spend a lot of time for the news, because there are different kind of news, and people build theories, people exaggerate, and how to build a defense mechanism to balance between you be aware about the situation, but not to be deeply involved. That is to paralyze your life, because you can put yourself under stress, and by involved so much, either just watching the news, or you even can involve it. And if you are in the Facebook and involved in a discussion with the people, maybe this is to affect you. Also, يعني how we can benefit from this situation. Any situation have some positive and some negative, and it is very good how to focus on the positive to overcome the negative. It's not we say there is no negative things, definitely there is negative effect, but dealing with the positive part, it will help us to overcome it. And when has some spiritual lessons and how love is temporal, how something small like the virus to change the life in this way, and also how the cooperation help it. And definitely we are in a situation which is not affecting a certain group of people or certain countries, affect the rich people, even the presidents of countries, and also affect the poor people. So nobody is immune from getting it. And the only way is to overcome, which is when St. Paul spoke about the church and gives the analogy of the body and how the well-being of the body is based on the different organs and how the members and how they cooperate with each other. This is important, and we take of it. And also we can learn that is how the new technology has a positive things and has also a negative thing. And we see مثلا the new technology like مثلا the social media, how it is becoming a way to spread theories, conspiracies, rumors, and so on. But at the same time, the technology which help us مثلا within a short time to have a vaccine, technology which help us to discover a new medication to deal with this. And this is to see the technology in itself and the advance in science is not good and bad. It depends on the way which we can use it. Also, we have to look to the church. And this time, we have to do a lot of adaptation within our churches. And a lot of things which we are doing. To cancel liturgy never happened. That is, in the 25 years I'm here, never happened a cancel a liturgy on Sunday. And we are trying, but now we are forced to do this. Of course, the services, different services, move to the Zoom things. And this is to show us how our church is flexible, and we deal with the situation and according to how the development of the situation. The challenge for us, this change is not to be permanent, and how we can resume it. Where one of the good things, the people, they want to the service in person, they want to to help to go and meet, missing meeting, attending the churches. So hopefully, and the people not to use, and then I don't go to the church on Sundays. But so that's why I think our work, the stress will be more after the pandemic, and how to go back for the normal. One of the good things which I notice, the society, the American society, even the society which looked like a more liberal society, but in the fight of the churches with all the regulation, it ended by, the court with the side of the church. That's why now Israel is assumed to have indoor. It become our own, and it show number one is the society is not as we imagine and هو very liberal. Still there are many conservative values existing, the number one. Number two, it put on us responsibility. Now we decide if we, out of the concern of our people, we can pray outside, even if we are allowed to pray inside. We can cancel a liturgy, even we are allowed to have the liturgy, because we are concerned about the safety of our people. We are not waiting for the governor or the court to tell us what to do. Let's put us in our responsibility. So I hope this workshop, as the previous one, which I see the survey, how people appreciate it. We appreciate the work of the diaconia and this workshop, His Grace Bishop Abraham and Abuna Jonah and all the servants who are serving and assisting, because it is something which is needed in this difficult time. And I hope also the outcome to be spread among more people than those who attended, because I know not everybody can attend, but of course things I see recorded and can be for help for those who for whatever reason could not come and attend. God be with you and God bless you and make this for the benefit of everyone. Glory be to God. Amen.
Thank you, Your Eminence. Thank you, Sayyidina. Julie, can you take the lead for the schedule?
Yes, thank you, Sayyidina. Thank you, Your Eminence. I want to take a minute to introduce our servants, the facilitators of our breakout rooms. Obviously, we have His Grace Bishop Abraham and Abuna Jonah from St. George, who I will introduce in a little bit. But to first talk to the servants, we have Angie, if you don't mind saying hi to everyone.
Hello, everyone.
David.
Hi, everyone. Nice to be with you.
Miriam. I don't see you.
Hi, everyone.
And then we have Mina.
Hi, everybody.
And then we have our Zoom masters and the facilitators of all of the behind the scenes, Bishoy and Andrew, who you guys have been getting emails from and have welcomed us into the meeting. So everybody has been working so hard to bring this very important meeting to you. So I definitely wanted to acknowledge them. So if everybody is good, we'll go ahead and get started. Just to reiterate agenda, we'll have a short presentation by Abuna Jonah, and then we'll have a breakout room. We'll send out the links for us to do that, and then we'll come back for Q&A. If we've learned anything from yesterday, there are a lot of questions, so we'll try and save a little bit more time to do those. Feel free to message them in the chat if you feel comfortable with your name coming up with it. If you'd like to do it anonymously, please use the link that's in the chat room. Abuna Jonah is a licensed clinical psychologist who has done amazing things in the field of psychology that do not live up to the work that he does within the church at St. George. So we are very blessed to have him speak to us about dealing with stress with COVID. So Abuna Jonah, if you don't mind.
Thank you, Julie. خليني سيدنا. I'll go ahead and share the presentation. Just a moment. So as Sayyidina and his Eminence had mentioned, that of course this has been unprecedented time dealing with this pandemic, for as long as it has been dragging. We were hoping that would have been, done a lot sooner than this, but no one had expected it to drag this long, and it's definitely has been taking a toll on us as individuals and on our families, and so it has been a great effort trying to plan for this presentation by the panel members addressing how to deal with the stress resulting from being stuck with this pandemic, or experiencing symptoms of COVID, or knowing a family member who's experiencing symptoms of COVID, or just simply being stuck at home. Whether your children have to be homeschooled, or you had to work from home, or even sometimes the extent that people had to leave their jobs. Overview of what we're going to be talking about today: the impact of COVID-19 on our mental health, stressors, ways to cope with these stressors, how to seek help, and then at the end we'll do the breakout rooms. Of course, since the pandemic started, people started to isolate, which is something that we're not used to. We're used to be very social. We're used to going out, especially during these holiday times, and being stuck at home is not what we're used to, and so it's difficult for us to be all of a sudden asked to stay at home, not see your friends, not see your loved ones, and that has been very stressful on a lot of people. In addition to increasing in fear, people are very scared of contracting this virus because of everything that we hear about it, and how it has been hyped up by the news, and how aggressive it might be, and that it might take a very, very big toll on one's health. And even it might cost some people their lives. So there definitely has been an increase in fear. We might find ourselves struggling personally, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically, and in many cases financially. Like Sayyidina mentioned, churches, were canceling liturgies or even closing temporarily. And it has been hard for a lot of people to not being able to go to attend the liturgy and take communion, especially that we had, church has been the prominent source of spirituality in our lives. But as Sayyidina had mentioned yesterday, that with the closing down of the churches, our homes became smaller churches. So even though one church might have temporarily closed, but yet our homes had opened many, many, many churches instead. Mentally, it has been draining on us to be always worried and always careful, and being always reminded to wear the mask and keep your social distance and not touch things and sanitize and do all that. And like we said, financially, many people lost their jobs, and it has taken a toll on many families. Our home life balance is affected. Many of us are working from home. Many of our children are homeschooled, and it has been very, very challenging for the kids and for us as adults. Parents are learning to balance and juggle family needs and household tasks. Having children at home 24/7 has definitely taken a toll on all of us. It's hard. It's very challenging to keep the kids busy. They have so much energy, and they always trying to figure out ways to let this energy out. And as parents, if we are not creative in doing so, then it becomes very difficult with them. So, and it becomes very hard on us. Children are learning virtually. They are apart from their peers. They don't see their friends as much. They don't socialize as much as they used to, and as it very important and crucial for their age. So it's definitely has been taking a toll on friends, on the kids. And so they're not used to talking to their friends through Zoom, or they're not used to learning, through an online forum or online class. But there's a lot to get adapted to, especially during this time. So it's definitely been hard on everyone. It's normal it's normal for individual during this difficult time, especially children, adolescents, the elderly, to feel stressed and worried. People are very anxious, and it's normal to feel this way during this difficult time. Common responses to this anxiety could have been fear of getting ill and passing away, especially that we hear that the death toll is going up. I was just reading the news this morning. There is 100,000 extra additional diagnoses of COVID just in the past couple of days, and it's just in one county. So people are very concerned of what's going to happen. We're just reading on the news. There's 0 beds in Southern California for ICU beds, and people are concerned. What if I need to go to the hospital? What's going to happen with me? Fear of unemployment. What if I get sick and I have to stay home? Who's going to take care of me? Who's going to take care of the kids? Who's going to pay the bills? Feeling powerless. We feel powerless when we feel that we don't have control, and that's usually the case during any time that we get sick. No one gets sick on purpose, but when we do, we feel very powerless, especially that we're not sure whether or not there is medication for it, or whether or not the vaccination is going to be available for me on time or not, or whether or not it's going to be effective. Like Sayyidina mentioned today, in Europe, they are saying there is new strain of the COVID, and everybody's worried about this new strain and what's going to happen with that, and whether or not the vaccination is going to work with this or not. So there's definitely legitimate fears that people are experiencing. Feeling of depression, helplessness, boredom, and loneliness. So people are isolated. They don't see, they don't hang out with their social group. They don't spend time with their friends. And it's like we said, it's taking a toll on a lot of people. Caregivers are concerned for their children. Sometimes people have, especially now that most children are on vacation, and parents have to go to work, and they're concerned. Children are staying at home alone. What's going to happen? And especially during school closures. We just received a letter from my son's school saying that the new semester is about to start, and most likely they're going to do it from home. So it's a concern of what's going to happen, who's going to stay with the kids, who's going to have to leave work to stay home. So persons who are sick or quarantined may experience shame, guilt, or stigma. How society is looking at people that are sick. What if I get sick and I don't know it, and I get someone else sick? Then I feel guilty and I feel shamed. So there's a lot of mixed feelings and mixed emotions associated with this pandemic. When you hear, read, or watch the news about an outbreak of an infectious disease, one may feel anxious, worried, or show signs of stress, which, like we mentioned, all these are normal feelings to have. We're wired to feel anxious. That feeling of anxiety is what drives us to protect ourselves. It gives us the extra push that we may be more careful and not be careless. quarantine during the disease outbreaks is linked to an anxiety. So there's different type of an anxiety that we call latent anxiety as a result of the quarantine. Depression and symptoms of post-traumatic stress. People are experiencing a lot of depression-like symptoms due to their, lack of social activities, their inability to go out and, take a walk in the park. They can't go, have dinner at a restaurant. They can't enjoy the holidays with their family. They cannot have a family gathering. They cannot do their normal family shopping. A lot of things are done online now, which people are not used to, but it's definitely very different than the norm. Some research evidence suggests that these symptoms could persist for a long time, depending on how long this is going to take. Hopefully not any longer, but who knows? But the most important part about this, that we know that we're not alone. And this is important to know and recognize that we're not alone, because then we are less ashamed to ask for help. We're less anxious to reach out and say, hey, I'm struggling with this. Are you struggling with the same thing? I'm having a hard time with, doing online school with my kids. Is it just me? I'm part of this parenting group. It's a parenting support group, and oftentimes people send messages like that. I'm struggling with such and such. For example, like I just mentioned, my kids being homeschooled, when my kids are struggling with online classes, it's just us. How's everyone else doing? And and it seems like everybody's struggling. It seems like everybody's having a hard time. But it's good to form a support group like this, because then people are able to bounce ideas off of each other. Now that the kids are under Christmas break, it's good to find ideas to be creative at home. I mentioned yesterday that we had made the app Pinterest good friends of ours, because we just go to it for many ideas. Michael's for arts and crafts has been great for us. Didi's discounts, they have many ideas, things that you can buy and just, for very, very cheap, and you can make a project out of, and get the kids involved and turn, boring time into a time for family activity. Cook a meal together, bake a cake, make cookies. We started buying, from I forgot the name of the website. I was going to say Amazon, but no, that's not Amazon. Something else. Hopefully it comes back to me. I'll let you guys know. But anyways, they have fun crafts for kids that we're able to order online, and they bring it to us. Oh yes, sorry, I was handed the name of the store, Hobby Lobby. Okay, so Hobby Lobby is a good store that we have used for quite some time to get arts and crafts, and they have really cool ideas that kids really enjoy. So become creative is very important. Know what are the signs of stress. Loss of energy, feeling fatigued. The use of tobacco and alcohol is definitely, or drugs is definitely not a good way to deal with stress. Feeling irritable, feeling angry, unable to fall asleep, not feeling relaxed, crying for no reason sometimes because just boredom, worrying excessively. Some people are just becoming overly worried as a result of everything that they hear. Um, Wanting to be alone most of the time. Some people are they got so used to being alone that they feel like they lost their social skills. So having difficulty accepting help could be a sign of stress. Not able to feel pleasure for things that you used to enjoy could be a sign of stress. So there's many different signs that we see here that could be all signs of stress. If you or someone that you may know showing signs of stress for several days or weeks, get help. There's definitely help that is available for you and for your family and for your loved ones. There's going to be some resources offered to you at the end of this presentation. Please make note of it because there's nothing shameful about asking help. What's shameful is knowing that you need help and not ask for it. That's what really is shameful. Help could be something very simple as go talk to your father of confession, or it might need another level of help and you need to talk to a professional, and either way is okay. If you need to talk to a professional, please do so. There's no level of help that is not warranted or that a professional cannot help you with. You don't have to be severely disabled to ask for help. So you can manage and alleviate stress by taking care of yourself. Some self-care is very important. A simple walk around the house, or take time and read a book. Prayer is a great way. It's a wonderful way. I cannot stress the importance of prayer enough in dealing with our mental health and keeping us mentally healthy. Set limits of how much you spend reading or watching the news. Please watch what your source of news is. Facebook should not be your source of news. So make sure that your source of news is something that's reliable. Make sure that when you watch the news, limit your time watching the news, because too much news could cause a lot of stress, more than what is needed. Focus on things in your life that are going well for you and that you can control. So sometimes we get so focused on the negatives that we forget there's other positives still in our lives. One exercise that I always recommend for people to do is get a pen and paper, sit with your kids, and write down, or at least even if you don't write down, just talk about it. What are we thankful for? I always recommend for kids when they pray to start with, I thank you, God, for, so kids can learn to be thankful, to look at the good positive sides in their lives. Start every prayer with, I thank you, God, for. It's going to train your mind to look at the positive. It's very important. Find people or resources that you can depend on for accurate health information. Your primary care doctor should be one of those really good resources. Ways to cope. Ways to cope is pay attention to how your body feels and pay attention to your feelings. If you feel that you're overly stressed, take a break, relax. You know, put the kids down to sleep maybe a little earlier and take time for yourself. Um, it will be helpful. Listen to, you know, uh, listen to classic music, listen to kiak, listen to, you know, an audiobook. Um, you know, do something that you enjoy. It, all these things that helps you relax. Just take quiet time, just silence. Sometimes that's very helpful for people. Take time to renew your spirit through, like we said, meditation, prayer, and all that. Eat healthy. Make sure you pay attention to your food. Don't eat too much junk. Um, you know, avoid excessive amounts of caffeine and alcohol, of course. You know, get enough rest and sleep. Physical exercise is important. You know, you can do this at home. There are videos and things online that you can definitely engage in a family activity of exercise. And kids like that and they enjoy it. Exercising with Baba and Mama or either. Talk to someone. You know, seek out family, friends, you know, church community, group. Don't isolate yourself. That's the whole point. Um, you know, for parents, um, you know, create a structure, make a schedule for your family. You know, schedule time for the kids to do something fun. Um, have meal time together. You know, embrace technology in a way that would be helpful. Be mindful of how you talk to your kids about COVID-19, because believe it or not, kids take on the anxiety of their parents. Even sometimes we're not paying attention of what we say and not paying attention that our kids hear and they get impacted by what we say, even if we're not saying it directly to them. Um, ask your kids about how they feel. Um, be a good example. Talk about your feelings, and so your kids can know and feel that it's safe to talk about feelings. Uh, be a role model for your kids. Um, this is just a sample schedule that you can utilize. Um, for the youth, make a list of fun activities at home. You know, like we said, talk about feelings. FaceTime, encourage FaceTiming with friends so they can still have that socialization and this interaction. Get creative. You know, like we said, cook with your parents. You know, try doing some type of fun activities. Go for a walk. Go for a run around the block. Things that can help you stay active and healthy. All right, these are some resources that we just talked about earlier. And if you have any questions about this particular resource for a particular age group, we can answer that individually. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Abuna. That was amazing, and I'm sure very helpful for everyone. So we are going to break out into our small groups. I'm going to be sending the links out right now again in the chat. Please keep the link that you used to log into this Zoom. We will be joining that one for 20 minutes. The small breakout rooms based off of your age or your like role in your family, and then we'll come back here at about 5:10 for our Q&A and wrap up. So we'll see you guys in the other groups.